pointing the stuff out, you can relate to it.
Yep.
Good morning, my name is Paul O'Loughlin with Horizon HVAC. We've been working on this project for almost 3 years now and finally completed it actually this afternoon, yesterday afternoon, and here we are just cleaning up and walking through it. So basically what we have here is an air exchange system, and that air exchanger, and I'll point up to it, it's that box with a sticker on the front of it, right up there. That's the air exchanger, and what you do is you have air pass through it so that you can recoup the temperature of the air. So instead of bringing out, say in the wintertime, 20-degree air, if you're in here at 65, 70 degrees, you're going to recoup 80% of that air. Heat. Providing those filters are in good shape, and I'll point that out. See those bright white filters? When they're not white anymore, they need to be changed.
Okay.
I did put a set of extra filters in the lobby in a box, so you have one change that you can go through, but the sizes are on there so you can buy your own after that.
Okay. And you'll let us know where we purchase those?
Usually Amazon or,
Okay,
or local
perfect.
suppliers.
Awesome.
Amazon is the same price as by vendors.
Okay.
So, and they have free shipping. Or included shipping. There's 6 filters there. They're 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 inch thick filters. And then that is the return air. Everything that goes back to the system is going through there. This duct over here, and slow me down if I'm going too fast or, okay. This is a louver on the outside of the building, and that is where the fresh air comes into the system. So it comes in through a filter box, and this is the filter box here. And this filter box has 2 filters in it. 24 by 24 by 2, they're the same size. So all 8 filters are the same. If those filters get dirty, I'll guarantee you those are dirty as well. So keep an eye on it as you're doing it. If the filters are clogged, and I'll repeat that, the system will not work properly. The fans will just be stalling and the air will not be moving properly.
So do we ever change these air filters?
Same time you change.
Okay, perfect.
That'll be your cue.
All right.
As you change these together. So the visual is that one.
Got it.
You'll be able to tell. They'll get gray like your floor here. I'm
And
assuming that's gray. I'm partially colorblind.
Yep.
Okay.
Would you expect that to be every 3 months, it's just going to be?
This is a special application. I'm not sure.
Okay.
You've got a lot of moisture. What's going to happen is there'll be some dampness on the filters. This stone dust, as you know, will get stuck on wet filters. So that's going to judge how it's doing. I ran it all yesterday afternoon, and I've been running it all morning. I really can't tell it's not changing, so it's not that quick.
Okay.
But as you play and you stir up the dirt and dust, that's going to change.
All right.
All right. So this duct comes in. This is actually called, we call this system here, this side of the system, supply fan 1. And that's marked on the box here, on the circuit breaker, marked on the fan, and I also have airflow marked on them so everyone can have a good idea looking at it, which way it goes. So this fresh air comes in, goes through the air exchanger, back out, and into this duct sock. So that duct sock runs off SF1. You'll see it because it's not collapsed, but it's not full. When I put the fan on, you'll see it fill up. Then you'll know which one you're on. So this goes up through the air exchanger and discharges straight out. Now that is fresh air. Also, the temperature is recaptured through the air exchanger, 80% of it, and then it goes into the bag. Now this part of it, this is actually the exhaust fan. This flushes the air from the space outside. So that's the direction of this, it's blowing down. We call this exhaust fan 3. We have 1, 2, and 3, the way they did it. The electrician numbered it, so I kept it the same way. Supply fan 1 is that one going up to the bag. This one here is actually coming, half of it's coming from here, goes up that duct, goes across that duct, goes back down into the air exchanger, pulls it down, and again, discharges that we call it stale air. So fresh air is on that side, stale air is on this side. This half of it, if we come over to here, and it's not split in half, it's just a big funnel. Half of it is actually it's supply fan 2, and that circulates air, half of it 50% or 3,000 CFM for that air sock. And that distributes the air circulating in the building. Because part of the airflow situation is you never had proper movement of the air. In other words, we want to take the heat that's even trapped up at the ceiling, and we want to push it down and draw it back in. So we're constantly trying to move that. And as I said, these airbags have small holes in them. I think they're about a 1/2 inch in diameter. And on this air sock going this way, we have airflow with 2 holes that come down along the roof pitch like this. And then that would be at 4 o'clock if I'm standing here. And then at 10 o'clock, there's a single hole on that bag that blows up to the peak. So just the opposite when I come over to this one. This is supply fan 1. This one has 2 holes that aim down at 8 o'clock, and it has 1 hole that aims up at 2 o'clock. So we're trying to get all of that air that's been trapped up there. Because if you end up being 65 degrees at a level, eye level. Up there, that temperature could be 80 degrees, full of moisture. And that's been your problem, is trying to do that. So with this system here, again, air exchange system, this brings in fresh air, discharges stale air, and that's mostly on this side. And that side on that one, SF2, is actually recirculated air, okay? The only maintenance you have to worry about is these filters. And I said it a few times already, I'll say it again. These filters have to be clean. If they're not, the system will not run properly. That whole system, the fans just sit there and stall. Just picture them, it's like stepping on the gas in your car when it's in neutral. You're not going anywhere, it's not doing anything.
Yep.
So, best thing I can say to anybody, that's your maintenance there. As far as the maintenance goes, excuse me, one more thing before we start. I have air fresheners. See this right here, there's a little dish-shaped thing, 6-inch diameter right here. There's another one up there. That is actually air, it's an air purifier. And what that's gonna do is gonna get out contaminants out of the air, and it's gonna help try to clean the air as it's going. That way we're getting fresh, clean air as we're going. That's an ionized system. It's electronic inside, there's some brushes on there. Basically, it charges the air, traps it so that it gets stuck in here. And it's a neat little system. But that runs all the time, and those 2 are actually on 1 breaker now, and that break is left on. Don't ever shut that off, just leave it running, okay? See, it says here, well, they have sensors, but it's air purifiers. Matter of fact, I'll get my pen and change that, but that's on this 20 amp breaker. Leave that always on.
Okay.
Okay?
And I think when we put air purifier there, we'll leave on.
Leave on. Yep, we'll do.
Okay.
All I have is my marker, and it does it like that, very small. Let me get a pen
Perfect.
to do that. All right, so as far as the system goes itself, I would like to do 2 things. We tested one earlier as it was, and I did it yesterday. But this system here, SF1 and SF2, are your bags and circulating, and EF3 is this duct that's taking the stale air out. So I'm basically going to start with the system that we should have on all the time is SF1 and EF3. Little startup noise because it's right here, but that's the layout we had to fix. Now, I suggested as we were talking about this here, if you have a tournament, you want it a little quieter, just leave this one off, because this is the recirc here. But when I turn this one on, see there's more air noise coming out of there. So again, if you have a tournament going, you want it a little quieter, just shut this one off.
SF2.
SF2. So as I explained, that's the recirc. That only does is plumb them up into the airbag. So we get movement all the time. But if you've got a tournament that's a couple hours long, you can shut this off without worrying. And then just turn it back on. The complete system is all of them on. All right? But I did give you the option because we're moving 6,000 CFM through this box, when really this is the one that does all the magic, fresh air, discharge air. This one should stay on all the time, and the one up above. That's the complete system for this now. All right? So these, again, the air purifiers, explain that, how it cleans the air. Maintenance-wise, those are 3 years. They have a 3-year lifespan on them. You can rebuild them, but a lot of times they like to change them up. The exhaust fans themselves, the only thing is, probably once every 2 years, we'll probably look at it in 1 year. See, I have a 1-year warranty, so I'll make a point of coming back, going through the whole thing in a year. You know, if there's any questions, don't feel free to call me. Everyone has my number already, an email address for questions. This system is, you've got a lot of cubic feet in this building to make it move. Unfortunately, I'm filling my truck up with my tools in stock. That door should be closed. But right now, I need to get out the door. So once this is done, we can just leave this running, and in an hour or so, actually Keith has to come back he's got to do a couple things too. But once that's done, close the doors. Even the door going into the front room should be closed, so that you're only working with this ports, you know.
Can you explain the seasonality of using the system?
Well, this is a fall, winter, and spring operation. You have the other fans and shutters up above in the center. That's your summer operation, because it's not requiring that. We're trying to stop this condensation issue in here, and it only happens, I've watched it this week, when the temperature hit 40 degrees, everything condensates in this building. We're trying to stop that in the fall, winter, and spring. So then that, again, the summer would be up above with that system. It's cheaper to run that system. It's only got 2 fans. We've got 3 fans here, you know. Still doing the job, still moving the air. Just a little different. You don't mind dumping in the summer, dump it all out, you know. So.
For budgeting purposes, will you send us estimates on what it will take to get you back here in a year, and maintenance, and going forward, what we should be looking for in our budget?
Okay, I could do that.
That would be great.
Yep. And like I said, I own the first one anyways. That's me.
Yep.
I'm coming back to do that just to make sure everything's okay. You know.
Excellent.
Usually fans, you know, the motors should be running fine. Sometimes the belts will wear out. That's again a 3-year process.
Yep.
Cost of the belts are $12, $14.
Yep.
You know, it's not like it's a huge expense. There are grease fittings on the bearings on the shafts themselves. That has to be done once every 2 years.
Okay.
So, and again, the first year I'll check that, grease them, and then I'll check the belts as well, make sure they're in good condition. If not, I'll put new ones on. Sorry, we're getting into people coming into my presentation.
Yeah.
All right. Does that?
You have questions, Betty Ann?
Not yet.
Okay.
I just shut them off so we could talk. It's not that loud, but
It isn't. It's not as loud as I thought it would be. I mean, there is fan and exhaust noise,
it's
but
a mechanical
yeah.
noise. And I
So.
know I sent to Jeff the noise criteria on these fans, and that's
Yep.
he has that, but
Yep.
you never know what 60 decibels is going to mean
Until you hear it.
until you
Yep.
hear it. You know?
Let's do a quick review, okay?
Yep.
Air comes in over here, goes through these filters here, which must be changed at the same time. The filters over here are changed. It comes here, goes up through the first air purifier, the
Yep.
ionizer.
Yep.
Goes through the air exchange,
Yes.
which controls the temperature. I think you explained it once, as a corrugated kind of system in there, and
The paths don't.
cold air goes one way and hot air goes another.
Yep.
Okay, it goes up to the first
Air sock.
air sock and flows through, and you have it's permeated in 2 places, one to send the air down and the other to send the air up. And then the air also comes over here.
It goes that way actually. This is returned. Just to help clarify.
Okay, so is this air sock then return also?
Yes, right here. This is a mixing box that all the air goes in. 3,000 CFM goes over to that system. 3,000 CFM goes to that system. There's 6,000 total between here.
Okay.
You with it?
But I'll ask you when we're done taping to make sure I understand. Okay, so, all right, so the air's coming in, and I see you have the airflow sign there.
Yes.
So.
Yep. So that goes up to the air sock this way.
And same thing, it's permeated so that you have some air going up.
To the peak.
And the other coming down.
And the majority, yeah, it's split 2/3 this way and 1/3 that way.
Okay, and so, so it's going up, and then how does the return work? Is this split?
No, it's a box. It's just
It's
a
a box.
box. It splits up there.
Okay.
See that fitting where it splits? This is just one piece of duct,
Yeah.
but then that's split in half. So half is going that way and half goes this way. Again, return goes in,
Okay.
up and over through the air exchanger and discharged out there. So this is the, it's not really, I guess it's what do I want to say? It's building circulation.
Okay,
You got the exact same amount of air coming inside the building as you have discharge, so you have no problems opening doors. Sometimes we get into a negative situation, we actually use a foot on the door to try to open it. That means they don't have the correct amount of makeup air going in,
okay,
and it happens a lot.
okay, and so can we go over to the box again?
Sure.
SF1 is the entry fan?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us again what SF2 is?
SF2 is the recirculating airbag,
Okay. All right.
or air sock,
And then SF3 is
the exhaust fan.
the exhaust fan,
Right here.
right here.
Yeah, and I marked them all, so they're all tagged airflow wise, and you can see
Okay.
the fan.
And you are going to remark this?
Yep.
This is to stay on all the time? This is
That's
the air purifier or the
correct.
ionizer, right?
Yes. Yep. The two of them, they're both tied to the same thing. They recommend just leaving those on.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Does that help?
I hope so.
All right.
Keith is here, and he's tired of listening to
Hi,
me do these
Keith.
presentations.
All right, we're turning the camera off.